my people. Una know say we dey here dey expect. Say FBI, CIA, Drug Enforcement Authority, Internal Revenue Service for America wants to release details of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Some people accuse President Bola Ahmed Tinubu say he forfeit $460,000 for America in 1993. They say that money na proceeds of drug trafficking. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu say na lie, no be so. The only proof we have that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is totally clean is a letter from the US Embassy to the NDLEA that says that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not have any criminal case to answer in America. But he has a file. You know, for America, anything you do is documented. He has documents of his dealings in America. That is with the FBI, that is with the CIA, that is with the Drug Enforcement Authority, that is also with the Internal Revenue Agency. So some people that they say, make those bodies release those documents so that we look through his total life, whether he's guilty of anything, whether he has been involved in anything or not. FBI said they have 2,500 pages, and they are going to be releasing 500 pages every month, starting from the end of October. The case they caught since. Some people, they invoke the Freedom of Information Act for them to release it. President Bola sent his lawyer to join in the case, to tell the court not to do so. Say the matter will affect him personally. Anyway, he has won the case. The court has agreed that the matter is going to affect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu personally. Let's share the news. The United States District Court for the District of Columbia has declined an emergency application seeking to compel top U.S. law enforcement agencies to hasten the release of confidential information on President Bola Tinubu. The judge, Beryl Howell, refused the application on Monday. An American, Aaron Greenspan, has filed a suit in June under the Freedom of Information Act against the executive officer for U.S. Attorney's Department of State, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Internal Revenue Service, Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. In his complaints, Mr. Greenspan accused the law enforcement agencies of violating the Freedom of Information Act by failing to release within the statutory time documents relating to purported federal investigations into President Tinubu and one Muiz Adegboyega Akonde, who is now deceased. According to Mr. Greenspan, the records being requested were from the Northern District of Illinois and or Northern District of Indiana, involving charging decisions against Mr. Tinubu and Akonde. In 1993, Mr. Tinubu was said to have forfeited $460,000 to the American government after authorities linked the funds to proceeds of narcotics trafficking. The issue of Mr. Tinubu's forfeiture of the funds featured prominently at the presidential election petition court, where Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi challenged the president's eligibility to contest Nigeria's presidency. But the election court, in a unanimous decision on 6 September, dismissed the suit, affirming Mr. Tinubu's election. Ahead of the Supreme Court's hearing of Atiku Abubakar's case against President Tinubu's election on Monday in Abuja, Mr. Greenspan has last Friday earnestly sought the U.S. court's intervention to order the FBI and the CIA and others to fast-track the process of releasing the documents on the Nigerian leader. A 7-member panel of the Nigerian Supreme Court on Monday heard Atiku and Peter Obi's appeal seeking to overturn Mr. Tinubu's victory in the 25th February presidential election. Premium Times reported that Atiku, through his lawyer Chris Uche, sought to tender fresh evidence before the Apex Court against the president. Now, why was the request denied? Court filings showed that the Executive Office for U.S. Attorney had denied Greenspan's Freedom of Information Act request, invoking Freedom of Information Act exemptions 6 and 7C, which protects information that will constitute unwarranted invasion of personal privacy and information compiled for law enforcement purposes that may constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy of a third party. Declining the request, the judge, Beryl Howell, said Mr. Greenspan did not meet the preconditions for granting his request. Plaintiff have failed even to attempt to argue how his request may overcome those exemptions and achieve a likelihood of success on the merits. This failure to address this important factor in his emergency motion weighs strongly in favor of denying his motion. Ms. Howell said, citing a plethora of cases to buttress the preconditions, the judge noted that Mr. Greenspan must prove that irreparable injury is likely in the absence of an injunction rather than a mere possibility. Plaintiff falls short of satisfying this standard. He has not supplied the court with any indication of a concrete actual threat that he will suffer in the absence of an injunction, while his emergency motion states that a Nigerian Supreme Court hearing is scheduled to occur in the coming days. Plaintiff cites no injury he will suffer that is in any way traceable to the relief requested in this motion. The judge further explained that Mr. Greenspan's request may be of a highly sensitive and private nature, and that the subject of those documents, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has had no opportunity to protect his privacy interests in any such record. Therefore, the balance of equities militates strongly in favor of denying this emergency motion. So what the court is saying here is that although there is a Freedom of Information Act that you can invoke, where you let the FBI and the CIA and the Drug Enforcement Authority release documents of a person, that information act also have an exemption in 6 and 7C, which states that if this information is going to constitute an unwarranted invasion of the person's privacy, that is the information where they want to bring about me now, it go cause needless invasion into my personal matter, into my personal privacy, then I can go to court and say, my lord, this information is going to cause me damage into my personal privacy, which is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done. But for me, I don't think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has any personal privacy again. He is the president of a whole nation, and his life affects everybody in this country. So if he has a questionable issue or not, the information should be laid bare. May we see as our president a clean person or is a dirty person. For me, I strongly believe that the president is a very clean person, amen. But may he go good, may they show us. Secondly, the judge said that this information when Mr. Greenspan is fine so does not personally constitute any injury to Mr. Greenspan, which is true. The matter not really concern him. The reason why he's fighting for it is that websites, when the FBI will release the information to, now he get them. So it's going to cash out on traffic. But it constitutes injury to Nigerians. So maybe we'll gather as people of Nigerians go fight for that case for America. I don't know how possible that is. Anyway, this is a good one for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't know whether they'll appeal the case. But even if they appeal the case, the Supreme Court has a limited time to pass judgment. We never even know if the Supreme Court will allow Atiku bring in fresh evidence of this Chicago State University and all this matter to add to his issue in court. If they allow him, that's one. But if they're not allowed, even if they release this information, it is not in court. So there are a lot of things that plays to the favor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu here. Especially as it looks like the people in the panel, they want anyway. There are a lot of things that personally favors him in this matter that will work in his favor. For now, he has won this case. Those informations are not going to be released by the end of this month, as we earlier thought it was going to be released.